In the stillness of the deserted road, only the hum of far-off motors and the whisper of wind through tall grass broke the silence. Inside, a frail mother dog huddled protectively over her 3 newborn pups, their damp fur clinging to their tiny bodies, their soft cries barely audible as they nestled against her. She stretched her snout through the bars, yearning for aid that seemed beyond reach. With effort she stood, her legs shaky, and pressed her paws against the metal grid. For a fleeting moment she clasped them together, her eyes gleaming with a silent, urgent plea to the vast, empty landscape. A faint rustling came from the nearby brush. A small rabbit emerged, its ears upright, nose quivering with caution. It hesitated, poised to dart away, but the faint whimpers of the puppies pulled it closer. Inch by careful inch, it approached the crate until it stood just before the rusted bars. The mother dog sank low, her paws pressed together once more, her gaze meeting the rabbit's wide, dark eyes. For a brief second, the 2 creatures, one a hunter by nature, the other prey, stood mere inches apart, not as adversaries, but as beings bound by a shared dread of loss. The rabbit's flanks trembled with rapid breaths. Then, in a sudden burst of resolve, it turned and dashed not to safety, but toward the open highway. Moments later, a pickup truck roared around the curve. The rabbit bolted into the road, crossing its path. Tires squealed, gravel scattered, and the truck lurched to a halt, the driver's pulse racing. A weathered man in his middle years stepped out, his face rough with stubble, his worn jacket frayed at the edges. "Foolish rabbit," he grumbled under his breath, but the rabbit didn't flee. It hopped a few steps, paused and glanced back at him, then hopped again, as if urging him to follow. Intrigued despite himself, the man trailed the creature off the road, branches snagging at his clothes. Then he spotted it, the crate nearly hidden in the tall grass, holding a gaunt mother dog and her 3 fragile pups nestled against her side. He sank to his knees, a surge of anger flaring at the cruelty of whoever had abandoned them. Grabbing a tire iron, he worked at the hinges until they gave way with a sharp snap. The cage door swung open. The mother dog didn't bolt. Instead, she gently pressed her nose to his hand, then guided each pup toward him, as if entrusting them to his care. When he looked up, the rabbit had vanished, leaving only the swaying grass in its wake. He gathered the dogs and carried them to his truck, driving straight to the town's small veterinary clinic. There, wrapped in soft, warm towels, the puppies drank milk and drifted into sleep. The mother dog rested close to his feet, her trust already evident. Sitting on a worn bench, the man murmured, almost to himself, "It's been years since I've had anyone. The house feels too still." Inside, he arranged blankets near the old stove and filled bowls with fresh water. Tiny paws pattered across the floor, and the quiet was soon filled with playful yips and the soft thump of wagging tails. For the first time in years, a smile crept across his face. Days turned into weeks. He sipped tea by the fire, watching the mother dog curl protectively around her growing pups. The nights, once heavy with solitude, now hummed with the gentle rhythm of their breathing. The weight of his loneliness began to lift, replaced by a warmth he hadn't known in years. One foggy morning, as he stepped into his garden, a flicker of movement caught his eye. There, among the dew-drenched cabbages, sat the rabbit, its ears glowing faintly in the early light. He placed a small saucer of water and a crisp lettuce leaf nearby, then stepped back. The rabbit sniffed, nibbled the offering, and then bounded off into the mist. It returned often, at dawn or dusk, never lingering, never coming too close, always free. Each visit stirred a quiet joy in the man, a reminder of the moment that had shifted his world. The dogs had stayed, filling his home with life. The rabbit had not, yet both had brought him the same precious gift, a house no longer silent, a heart no longer alone.